This is Robert with Pioneer Smokehouses, and today we're going to do a quick little video on burnt ends. The other day I made myself some chuck roast, and then I only ate half of it and I reserved the other half of it for burnt ends. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this going. I lit my charcoal and some lump charcoal really well in the charcoal chimney, and it's going really good, so I got to keep it away from me. And then I laid out a small bed of briquettes. Today we're going to use more wood than we're going to use charcoal. The reason we're going to do that is because this is going to be a little bit shorter cook, and we want it to be really hot. And when I say really hot, I mean like 325. Got that laid out in there, and it's going good. And like I said, there was a little bed of unlit charcoal in there. And now, I'm going to go ahead and add 2 blocks of wood to it. Those are going to start to smoke, and then as soon as they light up, the smoke will clear. I'm going to let them sit in there for a minute before I do anything else. So let's go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll be right back. It's been about 5 minutes and the temperature is rising steadily. I put a couple more pieces of the small lump charcoal that I had left over in there, and we're at about 200 on the gauge. It's a little over 200, but that means we're 200 on the surface temperature there. So while we're waiting for that, I'm going to go ahead and talk about this really quick. This is my burnt ends. Now what I did is I took the chuck roast that was left over from my last cook, and I sliced it down the middle, and then I diced it up into these small pieces. Normally I would make the pieces just a little bit larger, but the small pieces work really well and they heat through good when you're reheating. So if you're using fresh pieces of meat that are just come off the smoker, I would make them a little bit larger than this, but for reheating I like to do this. Then what I do is I take the meat and I mix it in a side bowl. And again, I could have used a little bit larger bowl, but that's fine. I coated it with my favorite barbecue sauce. First I like to put a couple drops in the bottom, then I mix in some of the meat and stir it in a little bit, and then throw in some more meat and put a bunch in the top. And then I add whatever spice rub I used on the meat. Now for me, this is my 3-2-1-1 mix. On my chuck roast, I also put a little bit of cow cover in there too. I like the taste of the cow cover, but a lot of it has a little too much sodium for me. Other people seem to think it's perfect sodium level, so you'd be the judge for yourself, whatever you like. As for barbecue sauce, you use what you like, but whatever you do on burnt ends, do not use sugar-free barbecue sauce. I time this for the day. I only eat sugared items on Saturday. I know that's kind of weird, but I time this for Saturday so that way I would be able to enjoy regular sugared barbecue sauce. I like a stored brand there that if you recognize it in the picture, then good on you. So that's my favorite. Now, we're still climbing a little bit. We got a little ways to go, but as long as it's not over smoky, I'm going to go ahead and put this in. We're on the edge. Now, I'm going to put it right about here. Well, let's go over here. I want to get it as hot as possible, and I get a little bit better heat right there. Maybe I'll go even closer to the end. That's just a good spot for heat on both ends. It's really even in the middle, but when we have such a small container, getting it in the hottest spot is probably going to be a better move. Now, normally I would use like a 9x9 foil pan or 8x8, whatever. And I just ran out of them and I keep forgetting to buy them. I'll try to remember that next time. We've got this going. I'm going to tend to the fire and get it all the way up to 325 and let it roll like that for an hour. For you, that'll only be a couple of seconds. I'll see you then. So it's been right about an hour, and it's kind of a challenge to keep the temperature exactly where you want it on a manual offset smoker. But I don't know how well you can see this, but this is reading 350 right now. And it was just a little under, so I stoked the fire a little bit, and now we're up there. So that gives me probably about 330, 335 on the grill surface. I'm gonna go ahead and open that up, and we're gonna take a quick look at this. Everything looks good in here. I don't know if I mentioned this, but I put 2 tablespoons of water in here after I was done. By doing that, it prevents it from burning. I don't really want to mix the 2 tablespoons in, but I just drop 1 tablespoon in on each corner, and then it just kind of sits there and just prevents everything from burning to the edges of the container. All right, so I gave it just a touch of a stir there. Pulled out 1 piece so we can get an idea of where we're at. Just needs to heat it completely through and then get the caramelization started. That tastes amazing, but it's not ready. I'm going to try to push the temperature up just a little bit higher so that way it can really start cooking. And it needs probably another 30 minutes, maybe a little longer than that. But we're going to find out. So that'll be another 30 minutes for me, and for you, 1 second. We are just about there, so let's go ahead and take a look. Oh, that looks good. I'm going to go ahead and bring that up to you. I want you to be able to see the caramelized look to this. Let's go like that. So the liquid's coming out, and it's going to be really hot. No burns along the edges, but we've got that caramelization. Going to turn it over a little bit here. Get a little bit of that sauce throughout. Now, of course, if you want it more caramelized than that, you could put it underneath the broiler. Spreading it out flat in a larger pan always gets a better caramelization and more even distribution of smoke. But this was already perfectly flavored. I'm going to grab one of these nice big pieces here. I want to find a piece here that I can hold up for you and show you. This one here looks pretty good. There's not a lot of fat in this one, but I just want to show you how squishy and soft that is. That is absolutely perfect. It's fully to temperature and ready for dinner. Now this is just barely enough for 2 people, so I got some salad and some green beans in the house, and we're going to have that and this, and we're going to enjoy it. So I hope you enjoyed what you saw in this video today. Wasn't a lot, we're just doing a little short one here. And this is just my favorite way to make burn-ins. I just wanted to show you me doing it on the Char-Griller. It is a bit of a challenge to keep the temperature stable, but if you stay on it and you put a lot of fuel in it, you can get the temperature up to whatever you need, or if you just drop it wherever, as low as you want by however much fuel you put in. Always leave the vents open and it should be just fine. If you saw anything you liked in this video, there's affiliate links below. If you use those, they won't cost you anything, but I will get compensated. So again, thank you so much for watching and have a great day.